I have a skill, but in a certain level. But I think for me, scaling is not only the amount of revenue that you have, because growing something from zero to it requires a lot of energy as well.
Hey, welcome back. We are so excited to have you here because today we have Charlie. And Charlie, will you please tell us who you are and what do you do?
So I'm Jose Carlos Charlie Sarmiento. I'm an athlete and a sports entrepreneur, and I'm building my fifth startup, my first one in the United States,
Love it.
after being a corporate executive for more than 14 years as well.
I love it. Professional athlete, corporate worker, and five-time entrepreneur. Tell us how that works. That's a lot of stuff to juggle. And you got a family.
Yeah, well, as I told you before, I have four children,
It's
and
awesome.
for me, it's about priorities and allocating the time and resources very smart. So that
Right.
is for me what it's all about, and having the discipline to commit to my valuable resource, which is time.
I love it. Time is our most valuable resource. And when you're juggling four kids, a family, and be a professional athlete. I mean that is a lot to throw on anybody. But you look great. You're in Austin right now, but where are you from? And tell us about how your first four businesses kind of led you into where you're at right now.
So I'm originally born and raised in Guatemala, back in Central America. I'm
Uh huh.
also Italian for my mother's side,
Love it.
and so yeah, these startups, three of them, um, before this new one that I'm creating, are in the sports space as well, and one of them
Love
is
it.
not. I exit the four of them, besides this one, this new one.
Uh huh.
Two of them I partially exited and I scaled it. I created from scratch. I'm a
Nice.
creator and a visionary. I love to. I'm a big problem solver. I love to solve the problems that I have faced in my life, and
Right.
I'm a good at creating from scratch and executing from scratch. And then the scaling up, I always said that I have a skill, but in a certain level. But I think for me, scaling is not only the amount of revenue that you have, because
Right.
growing something from zero
Yeah.
to it requires a lot of energy as well.
It takes a lot of energy, and clearly you're a high energy guy. You came from very high levels of baseball into soccer into ultra marathon running. I mean, you're kind of a junkie.
Yeah, well, I always said that I love to compete with myself, and
Yeah,
always try to overcome every obstacle, embrace it, and learn from those experiences. For me, sports has been very. I am very grateful. I have been through sports. I was
yeah,
very. I hit the black hole a long time ago. My dad passed away, as I mentioned you, when I was 14. I
yeah.
think I just recovered from that years after, and that is what sports for me is this. It's all this energy that helps me to grow spiritually connected, and
Right,
always, having these mindsets to adapt to the situations, that some of them we can control, some of them we cannot control. So that is what
right.
sports also help bring to me.
I love it. Yeah, no, sports and exerting your energy and really utilizing your body, it does tap us into the more powerful resources within us, which is, as you mentioned, our spirits, tying and connecting our spirits to other activities. It gives us that strength, especially in the family forefront. But tell us about your ability to transition your energy into not only these ventures, but coming to America. You're in an accelerator program with your business. What is this business all about? What are you doing with this business right now?
So yeah, so basically, as all my career, and specifically one event when I was a soccer player. I was hired by a D1 college in the United States. By that time, I didn't have the resources to pay for the gap of the partial scholarship that I received, and
Right.
I
Right.
always got very curious about how to solve that problem. So the last 9 years as an ultra trail runner, I have been sponsored by 14 brands. That have
Wow.
helped me to fund my sports career. So I said, okay, that's a big challenge. It's not easy. I am very grateful with God and the universe to have those contacts and to receive those blessings. So I said,
Wow.
I have to give it back and to put that in a way that is easier for future generations and all these young athletes. And that's
Yeah.
exactly
Yeah.
what I'm doing. So what I did is I created a platform for youth athletes to accelerate their career, their sports career based on performance data. So it's a VTX score is integrated by four indexes: education, social media, but more focus on social impact through social media. Um,
Gotcha.
Training and athletic performance, like competition performance. So that is what I created, and with that, we will be able to promote these athletes and rank them. So sponsors, brands, recruiters can choose them based on a meritocratic system, because that's also
Gotcha.
something that it has been that I have been learning all my life. Like for me, is always about meritocratic, right? So you can
Right.
be
Right. Right.
right now with all the NIL. I always say this, that you can be a sex symbol in social media and a terrible athlete, or or
Right.
or a great athlete, and not necessarily impacting your community positively. So
I like that.
we incorporate some AI to also measure the sentiment of if it's positive or not, and not just only likes and followers. Like you can have one follower or 1 million
Yeah.
followers.
Right. So basically what you're doing, the problem you're trying to solve, and this is really interesting for me to kind of listen to because you're coming from two team sports into an individual sport, into ultra running, which is, again, for those of you who don't know, these guys are the wacky guys that go into the mountains and run 50 to 100 miles. It's amazing. Like your stamina just is so admirable. But for you to jump out of a team into an individual sport and then pick up 14 sponsors, that's a pretty cool game. That's a really cool thing that you just did, because a lot of times sponsors will sponsor a team altogether. And what you've learned is the skill to go ahead and say, hey, look, here's me. I will represent you. I will make you look good every time I cross that finish line. And you've been able to get those sponsors. I would imagine as a sponsor, it's hard to find those athletes. And so what you're doing is connecting the dots. Is that right? Between the athletes and the sponsors.
Correct. That's totally correct, and that's something that I want exactly what to give back, and that is how I started this. And you asked also how does that bring me here. Like for me, I always go with the flow, with the energy, and with all these opportunities that God has been putting me, and I
Yeah,
always try to just be open to those. So for me, this is a dreaming coming true, because when I was very young, I always want to live in the U.S.
sure.
Even before this D1 college opportunity at Jacksonville University, and
Right.
and I always have that dream, and just I would say, like, I'm 41 years old, so you can do the
Right.
math. So basically, when I was 10, so 31 years before, I have been dreaming, but never stop chasing that dream, and I didn't know how
It's
that
awesome.
was going to happen. So for me, it's being open about all of these aspects.
Just a few seconds to let you know about a project that we've been putting together for the last several months, and we're finally launching it, called the Captain's Council. You see, as a CEO or operator of a business, it can feel like you get stuck in your own head a lot of the time. You get challenges that you don't know how to resolve. You get people causing problems in your leadership team that you don't know how to resolve. And it's so hard to overcome those things by yourself. You don't have to anymore. Join the Captain's Council. Captain's Council is a group of other CEOs and operators and owners of businesses where we come together once a month for several hours to discuss the biggest challenges you're facing. You express to the council of 8 to 10 people about what's going on. Where do you feel stuck? And these other people are in the same boat as you. They're running and operating their own businesses. They're your peers. They help you kind of dissect what's happening and help you see things that you may not have seen all by yourself. If you don't have a good, strong network of people around you, come join the Captain's Council. This is going to be something that will change the way you run your business and open your eyes to opportunities that you have never seen without the help of your peer group. Come check it out, captainscouncil.com. Awesome. So this congratulations, by the way. And as we look at this experience though in getting into the accelerator program, what exactly is this doing for your ability to grow and scale the business as opposed to, having been in Guatemala still? Talk to me about like your growth potential difference here in Austin in that environment versus there.
That's an amazing question, Todd, because you know that one of the startups, his name is Vertikal Sports Performance. It's a training performance
Right.
facility that I founded in 2020. So
Yeah.
this new startup, its name is Vertikal X. So
Gotcha.
actually, we are a consequence of a growing business. Just
I see.
that I decided strategically to transform my business into a sports tech company and not. I was originally was all the concept of the training facilities I created myself, and I was
Yeah.
going out with a franchise model strategy to go out
Gotcha.
and sell internationally, and I was very focused on US. I created in Guatemala because it was cheaper to do a startup there for these purposes because
Sure.
it's a lot of equipment and investment. So I said, with COVID, that's not the way. I need to, tune up the boat, and
Right. Right.
the wind is going that way, not this way. So I said, oh my God.
Right.
So this is a growing business. So I already had in Guatemala from 2020 to 2022, we had
Yeah.
accumulated revenue of almost $300,050,
Uh-huh.
$350,000.
Yeah.
Which for our markets is very interesting. And
Yeah. Yeah.
and I said, okay, we are collecting this data. How I can go to another market without going to a franchise model? So
Right.
so I create the concept of the Nasdaq for athletes, and I won a full scholarship at Silicon Valley, and that is
Nice.
and that is how the VTX score born as the Nasdaq for
Cool.
athlete. Uh, so even though this is a startup, it's a new startup. This is a consequence of a growing company.
Right.
Which, by the
Right.
way, the training facilities I exit last year, I keep
Yeah.
I keep owning 20% because
Nice.
we are gonna still doing the franchise eventually.
Right.
Um, and now I'm focusing on this all on the Vertikal X platform. So why the
Cool.
markets are very different. US is it's an 8.5 million student athletes, high school and college,
Wow. Wow.
and only 2% of them receive a full ride sports scholarship,
Crazy.
and they need $60,000 per year in average, and
Right.
typically a partial scholarship is 15,000 per year.
Right. 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 Right.
So that gap is the one that we would like to fill it up. So that's when I saw the potential to impact not 50 athletes, but millions of athletes. That's my
Right.
intention. And now,
Right.
what the best way to describe our platform is we are building the LinkedIn for athletes based on performance data.
I love it. This is interesting because you're not only going to get sponsors, but you're also going to get people who are interested in, the social media aspect. How many followers do you have? Hey, can you go wear my shirt? Can you go try my energy drink? Can you go do this? Go do that? This is a really, really awesome connection platform. I love what you're talking about. How far along is it, and where is it in the launch sequence? Like where are you at in the incubator and through this whole program?
So now that we are a portfolio company of the International Accelerator in
Right.
Austin, we already did the MVP.
Cool.
We are onboarding athletes from Latin America right now,
Nice.
specifically
Nice.
because we still have the training facilities in Guatemala.
Sure.
And then for the go to market here, we are doing two verticals. We are doing soccer, and also we are doing endurance sports. For the soccer,
Cool.
for the soccer, we will have a very, I will say, a slower scalability progress, because we have the networking, a networking scalability there, because we have to partner with different parties, training facilities, sports academies, sports retailers. We have to,
Right.
etc. And then
Right.
for endurance sports, what we are doing is we are developing for the Strava athletes. So that's the way that we will, go to the market. They have 100 million users, so hopefully we'll partner with them as well.
Whew.
And
That's awesome.
yeah, so that's basically the way that I'm visualizing this and the scaling. We have to be prepared with the MVP. We have a very robust MVP with coding. Everything is backed up, and
Cool.
right now we are in that phase. We are fundraising and doing the live launching soon. We did a
Yeah.
pre-launch of the brand and the concept, etc. Now that I'm gonna be in Utah, as I mentioned you, doing the extreme
Yeah.
triathlon, I will promote VTX as well with these athletes, because to fund a race like a triathlon is expensive, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of people with talent, discipline, that they don't do it
They
because
can't
of.
afford to just do it part-time, right?
So yeah, so that's what we are doing, and in parallel, I created an 501(c) for non for profit,
Cool.
in order to also have, even though that Vertikal X is a C corp, but also for these big brands and companies, or people that wants to donate to these athletes,
Right.
to
Right.
have a
Right. Right.
tax credit there as well, to give back, so everybody will.
Almost like a scholarship program of
Yeah,
sorts.
yeah.
Very cool. This is what a fun model. I'm really impressed with how you came up with a concept. Who you're trying to help is very clear, and there's a huge need for it out there. I know for a fact that athletes are. I just was talking to a young woman the other day who is an amazing soccer player here in Utah, and when you don't get the scholarship in college, you're kind of done. Like, well, I guess I'm done. And it's a hard, sad truth, and there's just not enough scholarship out there for so many great athletes. So that's really a fun thing you're doing. I love the business model.
Thank you, Todd.
So what are the challenges you face? I mean, it sounds like things are going well, but I know it doesn't come easy. Well, what are some of the things that have kind of surprised you as you, even after joining the accelerator program, that you're trying to face as you deal with the launch?
Well, yeah, it's every day you have a new challenge, and that's what is amazing about it. So I never get bored. But the biggest challenges, I will tell you that, first of all, is coming to the US. Bringing my family, it was a big challenge.
Yeah, I bet.
I'm very grateful for, with the United States of America to gave me the O1A visa. That was amazing. For me,
Awesome.
it's like an award, to be honest.
Right.
So I think that
Well,
was
thank you for coming the right way.
yeah, exactly. That's also it's hard and but it's a good point because that's I want always to lead by example and
Yeah.
that's the way, you know. And when you do it properly, it will remain
Yep.
forever and will do good. So yeah, I like that. And then the second challenge I will say it is. I have been bootstrapping. I
Yeah.
think I am kind of magician with money now, but it has been tough, to be honest with you. But we have always food on the table and a roof to live. So
That's great.
I'm I'm valuing more what I really need to live and
Yeah.
besides going materialistic. When I used to do like that when I was corporate.
Right,
So
right, right.
it's
Everybody does. When
every
cash flow is there, it's easy to get materialistic, but when you're really trying to hunker down and bootstrap a business,
yeah.
you start to understand what things really matter.
Yeah, I agree with you. So that is has been the second challenge because bootstrapping since 2021 due to
Yeah.
say did the exit, selling some toxic assets in Guatemala,
Yeah.
selling another stuff, and so it has been a journey, to be honest with you, but valuing every day from a different perspective. And third challenge, I will say finding the right people, like
Yeah.
has been a challenge, and I am a very energetic guy, so I feel a lot. I'm a very hard guy. I people
Right.
think people always will tag me as a stubborn and arrogant, but because I try to go my way and that's how I am. But for me, that connection is very important.
Yeah.
So right now that we are cashless, and I created this equity incentive plan for for key roles, not for everybody. So
Right.
I allocated
Right.
15% of dry powder in that equity incentive plan, and I brought some people that when you see that they are not paying but they are really into the mission, committed. I love that. Like
Right.
that's for me. Like when I say
100%.
that's for me.
Yeah.
So that was a big challenge, but I solved it. So we have a good advisory board as well here in the States with good
Good.
people, senior people, and then some also key roles. I'm not a technical guy, so I always say this joke that I'm not technical, I'm a physical guy. But
Well, you need that, to lead a sports entrepreneurship type of business, you need to be an athlete and you need to be focused on your people, which are other athletes. And so I don't think that's a hinderment at all. I think that's a big compliment to your business. Now, who in your circle though has been that special influence that you could say, man, if it weren't for this guy, I don't think I would have made it to this point. Is there someone you want to give a shout out to?
yeah, I have a lot of people, but to be honest with you, but I will say two. One is alive and one is not. So I will start with the one who's in the sky. Is my dad.
Awesome.
I think he's passed away. Just I receive all this divine energy, and
Awesome.
I cannot imagine. So he's my strength,
I love it.
and it fulfilled me a lot. And I'm not that I know that I'm connected with him, and just after he passed away, it gave me the courage that I need to become the man that I am today.
I love it.
And
I totally acknowledge that. Yep, I believe with you.
thank you. And then secondly, my wife. I say that I think she married with this guy. It's not easy.
Yes.
Uh,
Every entrepreneur's wife is an amazing woman, in my opinion.
so I will say that it's not easy. I am a very I like to take risks, and I know that for her it has not been easy. And
Yeah. Yeah.
so I will say that that two person are uh,
That's great shout out.
yeah. So
I love it.
yeah,
I love it. Well, this has been a fantastic conversation, and I appreciate you being here today to share it with us. I know that for those listening, there's a lot of challenges that go into building and executing not only launch but the growth of your business. And Cal, Charlie, thank you so much for taking the time to share this story with us. Glad you're with us, and I cannot wait to hear where you're at in 6 months and in a year and in 3 years, because I have a feeling that this is a very high demand product you're launching into, and we're going to be tracking it. So
yeah.
thanks so much for taking the time to be here.
Thank you, Todd. I appreciate your time. I just want to leave you with this last sentence, if you allow me. But
Yeah, please.
I resonate a lot with the growth and scaling, and
Yeah,
also because when you, it's not only the business, as I mentioned you at the beginning. So for everybody that is listening to us, and because of your leadership, it's also scaling as a human being, and
right.
so when you are able to scale and learn from others and be open and vulnerable to give back what you have learned, um, you will receive a lot of satisfactions that you can never expect to receive. So
Totally
that,
agree.
so that is something that I just want to share, and I want to say thank you to you, and also the person who recruited Casey. She did an amazing job. And
Awesome.
I didn't want to leave her out of this, because
She's amazing.
she, just for you to know, she has a star, she has an star. So very well for you. Amazing the team that you have built. And
Thank you.
so I will be there, Todd, for anything that I can serve to you and yours.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And I appreciate everyone listening. And of course, Casey, thanks for all that you do to help us facilitate this podcast. So, Charlie, thanks again. And the rest of you, we'll catch you on the next episode of the Growth and Scaling Podcast. We'll see you then.
See you, Todd. Thank you so much.
What did you think of that story? I mean, fantastic. I love immigrants who come to this country and find the passion, bring the passion, and find the resources here in America to bring that concept, that idea to life. Yes, he started in Guatemala with a business doing a very similar model, but now that he's bringing it to America and digitally enhancing it, bringing on the coders, making the thing work, it's just exciting. It's just exciting. And I hope that you found some inspiration there. I know that I did. If you're looking for other inspiration and you're looking for a resource with mentors and people who have been there, done that in their own growth journeys, I hope you consider our sponsor today, Captain's Council. CaptainsCouncil.com is where you go to sign up and be part of a community of other founders and operators who are building and growing their businesses just like you. If you want that resource of having other people in that growth journey who are way beyond launch and trying to figure out their next stages, and those who have been there and are accelerating through their next growth stage, this is the place. We have curriculum, we have training, we have group sessions, we have tiny communities of pockets of awesome members who come together as a council and discuss the real challenges and the real growth opportunities that they face with their business. There's no other place like it. There is no community like this one where you're going to find people as excited about their growth journey as our members are. So come check it out at captainscouncil.com. We can't wait for you to catch up with us there or on the next episode of this podcast. We'll catch you later on the Growth and Scaling Podcast. Thanks for your support. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe so we can continue to bring you awesome content like this one today. We'll see you then.